welcome to another episode of Crime Pays a Botany Doesn't. Today, we're going to be sweating our asses off climbing up a steep slope. We're at, I don't know, 20 degrees latitude north, okay? We're basically in the tropics. So, anyway, we're going to be checking out some really interesting plants. Let's go have a look, see what we're doing. Oh, can you hear that? It's Quesada gigas. That's the giant cicada. He's up on that Neltuma, that mesquite. Oh, I love that sound. We get them in South Texas, but they're not out yet. See, it kind of sounds like one of those like gag hand buzzers, or someone's transmission is fucking up, you know? Maybe their engine won't start. Oh, I love you. Oh yeah, he's going now. He's on a ripper. How's that for some ASMR? I want like a wave machine. You know, one of those sleeping machines that makes that sound. I'll go to sleep to that. I love how obnoxious it is too. Look at this. So these are the leaves to this tree, which is just abundant here. Tons of fruit on this. And they're kind of sweet, little tart. Almost feels like a plum, but it's not in the rose family like plums are. Rosaceae. Ciruelo. A lot of nice stuff. Get some invasive aloes. Not getting too crazy. The calancos are the real bad ones. The real bad invasive succulents you find. Look at that. All this. Ciruelo. See that? Then we got these fuzzy bastards right here. There's the old inflorescences. Asteraceae is the family on this one. Look at that. Look how fuzzy that is. Look at all the hairs. Obviously adapted to dry. Ooh, some insect is really going to town on that. And it forms a multi-stemmed little trunk right there. I mean, that's not really a trunk. They just looks like they hack it back and then, or they die and then they just resprout. But that root probably lives for, I don't know how long, decade, 2 decades? No idea. Montanoa is the genus here. I think some of those, can you eat some of them seeds? Is some of them seeds edible? I don't know. I need to see the flowers. Too bad it's not blooming. I think these are late season bloomer. They really take the rains. It takes the rains to kind of juice everything up here. Because you can see, I mean, we're in an arroyo right now, but it's still pretty dry out. Oh, what the fuck? What Stenocereus is that? Huh? And a big Stenocereus right there. Just growing up into the Neltuma, into the mesquite. Oh, this is a nice one. Looks like a damn willow right here. But here's the fruit, very obvious adaptation towards bird dispersal. Almost looks like a mistletoe. There's the unripened fruit. And then here is the tiny flowers, as you can see. And what's going to pollinate those? Some sort of tiny moth or something? Doesn't look like it's going for bee pollination. Yeah, definitely not. I guess, nah, not really. It's got to be a fly or a moth. Some with a long tube on its, long proboscis. You're like a fly maybe with a long tube. You just need that tube on your mouth, on your front end, you know. Stick it down in there, get those anthers. Look at the sepals. They're barely anything. Just those little green triangular flaps at the base. What the shit this is. I'll find out and let you know. Really cool, though. I'm going to break my heart if it's an invasive. It's not invasive. It's not behaving invasively. It's just, it's just getting along. Just growing at the side of these. Look at those sediments. God, you get horny for sedimentary rocks ever? I do. Especially when they're contorted, all twisted and contorted like we saw at a higher elevation further up the canyon. Obvious compactional forces at play. All right, let's keep moving. Oh, this is nice. So, a little further down the canyon, beautiful specimen of Morkelia, which is in the creosote family, Zygophalaceae. Pinnate leaves, could almost fool you into thinking it's a bean, a pea, and then there's those flowers. Oh, look at that nice 4-lobed stigma. You got 8 anthers. And fuzz on everything, of course, because this is adapted to the long dry season here. Frequently grown with huge columnar cacti. Oh, look at it. What's causing all that precipitate, huh? You know, this is as good a spot to piss as any. Look at all that Cretaceous, calcareous, marine sediments with a nice little, you got some lush stuff going on down there. They got a big tube in the ground sucking water. I don't know where that's going to. Sketchy precipitous cliff we're driving on right here. And you got a nice rock wall as well. You can see all the different layers of strata Okay? Definitely not an igneous stuff right here, though some of it did get cooked, as you can tell. You know, if it's proximity to a large, what was a large mass of lava, tons of good plants. We've been seeing this guy everywhere with these erecta. Look at those fucking leaves, man. Jesus Christ. I think it's Asteraceae. I think I saw Asteraceae flower heads on it. But either that or it's a Fendlera, which is Hydrangeaceae. But the rock here is just incredible. Tons of good stuff. And there's areas where it's not, the lines aren't straight. It's actually been compacted. You know, there was convergent forces pushing this shit. Tortured rocks. Look at that good old hackberry right here. It's a Celtis pallida. I don't know. You know, hackberries there's a lot of desert members actually. Got a nice hectia right there. Got a nice opuntia right there with the fuzzy shits. That is, it just has the glochids, no spines. And we got here what looks like a Echinocereus pentalophus, but a different ecotype than the South Texas kind that we get with it. You know, it looks like it's almost got longer spines, different rib form. A lot of interesting stuff going on. Nice cylindropuntia draping, you know. I don't want to touch one of them. Look at that. Look at that. Focuria splendens. Ocotillo. Covered in Tillandsia recurvata. And a ball moss. Nice. How about that? Just that Tillandsia is still alive. It's growing fully exposed to the sun. Damn, look how skinny the Garambuyos are. That is a goddamn... Look, there's some larger ones. Myrtillocactus geometrizans. With a much different form than you get... you know, places like Puebla State. I wonder what it is. They're just more drought stressed or what? Or maybe the soil here is harsher? It is just metamorphosed limestone. Maybe it's super nutrient poor. Look at that. They look all chlorotic and shit down below. We love you anyway, though. Oh, nice bursera. Look at a bursera. Look, peeling bark. All right, just like somebody who got a bad sunburn. Got a nice Echinocactus platyacanthus right there. Big colony of hectia behind it, and a big colony of hectia here too. That's a nice inflorescence. That's impressive. All those fruits have already opened and dispersed their seed. Oh God, it's dry and hot. Still not as hot as where I live though, but close. There's like a gentle breeze. Look at that hectia, man. Basically a pineapple trying to be an agave. Mammillaria, the pineapple family. Who's this little man down there? Look at that guy. Looks almost like compressa, but not quite. See that the fruits on a biznaga ain't ready yet, but they sure are fuzzy. Do you like the fuzzy shits.com? Echinocactus platyacanthus. We're gonna keep walking up all this limestone. It does look like this limestone has been cooked at some point, because you get these veins going through it. Got heated up a little bit. What the shit is this? Here you get the genus Strombocactus growing right next to a little silage, a resurrection fern, which isn't a fern at all. It's a selaginella. It's a lycophyte. Look at that beautiful geometry in it. Holy shit. The geology. Look at the geology to plants, everything. I love it. I'm getting ahead of myself. I can't even talk. Look at that. Look at the fucking trichomes on this hectia. Holy shit. Ugh. Scale like trichomes. Like a little just sun protection vest. Man, I need a better hand. I'm cooking here, but I'm just so fucking excited. Look at all this. That is incredible. Strombocactus disciformis. Look at those little guys. Look at these little guys. Look at it. Holy shit. Oh, you're so lovely. You really are. How'd you do that, huh? How many millions of years, maybe tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of years did it take you to evolve that habit? As so many cacti do. Let's look at this guy too. A non-mescaline containing peyote. Lophophora diffusa. And it does indeed look, it looks much different than the peyote we see in West and South Texas. Green color, it doesn't have the ribs, it's got those just areoles. Looks squat, looks like a squat little pancake or a pastry perhaps. Just growing right here at the base of these epic fucking calcareous rocks. Oh, who's that columnar over there? Look, it's like a cathedral. You know, once you get in the shade, it's not so bad. It's actually not that hot out. There's no humidity, which is nice. It's the humidity that really kills you. But in that sun, fuck man, you get cooked. You do get cooked. Who's that over there? Huh? Oh, it's a yucca. Is that Carnarosana? I can't even tell. Can't really see the screen. Can't really see what I'm filming, but hopefully you can. Probably so many cool plants over there. Nobody's getting disturbed over there. Standing on a colony of hectia Who's that guy? Is that Isoladocereus? That looks like Isoladocereus, formerly Stenocereus dermortii. Oh, look, he's got a little twist to him. He's got a little flair. He's sashaying. That plant right there is in the Anacardiaceae, the poison oak and poison ivy family. That's Pseudosmodingium. And if you touch it, you get a bad ass rash. And I've got a tolerance. And I've got a propensity for fondling plants. I'm predisposed to it, as you may have noticed if you're at all a long-time follower of this channel. And so I've run into many problems fondling plants in Anacardiaceae because about 1/3 of the plants in that family have Urushiol in them. Right? Same order as the poison oak, but in a different family is this guy, Bursera. This is in Burseraceae, the frankincense, the myrrh family, colloquially known as elephant trees. But you can see this doesn't have leaves on it right now. It's just got the little fruits, little droops. Not a berry because it's only got one seed in it. It's not multiple seeds, which would make it a berry. But it does smell incredible. Epicenter of Bursera diversity is here in Mexico. I think there's like almost 100 species, maybe more. Shit ton of diversity in this genus in Bursera. And then you get Comifera in South Africa and a whole bunch of good stuff. There's that Pseudosmodingium. Now, it is a beautiful tree. I will give it that. It's gorgeous. As many plants in this family are, especially the toxic ones, like Metopium toxiferum down there in Miami, the poison tree. That's a beautiful species. But where's your hint that it might have Urushiol in it? Look for the black stains on those leaves, as you can see there. That, I believe, is the oxidation of Urushiol, the allergenic compound in poison oak and poison ivy. Beautiful, though. Look at that. Look, got a nice farine on it. Obviously adapted. No hairs. Does it have hairs on it? Maybe. There's probably tiny hairs on it, but none that are especially obvious. It's mostly glabrous. It's mostly smooth. So it's got a shit ton of wax in it. And the family Anacardiaceae, like the family Burseraceae, has resin canals. Very prominent resin canals. Oh, look at those. What are those? Big stipules? BigStipules.com. Look at that beautiful rustity color on that. Contrasts nicely with the blue. I feel like I'm going to pass out and fall off this sketchy cliff. So I'm going to go move up a little bit. I'm really getting cooked. It's just the sun. It's not even the heat. It's just the fucking sun. God, it's just like a space heater. Look at this monster Jatropha dioica. I assume it's the same species we get in Texas, but look at it. I've never seen one this big. God, it's leafless. It's too bad I can't get the leaves for you because I'm curious what they'd look like. But you still got those little buds, little succulent shoots where the tissue just builds up after each successive whirl of leaves is put out and then dropped for the year. So it's pretty fucking cool, man. Just a different ecotype or a different species. What is the grade between the two? Start paying attention to ecotypes, you start thinking more about what exactly is a species to begin with. Nice burst, right? Let's keep going. I'm going to fall down. I would wear a 10-gallon hat. It's not beneath me. I know it looks fucking ridiculous, but just keep the sun off your head. That's all you want. I can feel the sun heating my hat and then heating my head. So anyway, there's a nice Mammillaria, and then you got loaf diffusa everywhere. Just little donuts. They just look like a donut. Like maybe you get a glazed donut, Real bad. I'm really disappointing you. You get a glazed donut, you leave it on the seat of your car, go out to get something else, come back, forget it's there, sit on it. That's what these diffusas look like. Beautiful, though. I love them. Oh, I love you. I love you, you little shit. Oh, look, they're all burning in the sun. It's been stressful here. Mexico's in a drought, of course. For the climate change, it isn't happening. I'm sure it's got nothing to do with it. I'm sure pumping millions of tons of CO2 into the atmosphere, of a heat-trapping gas in the atmosphere, is not causing things to spice up a little bit down here on the ground. How you get so many dummies to trust oil companies over scientists is fucking amazing, but really good PR job for the oil companies. I'm impressed. Let's keep going. Look at that, man. Parkinsonia. Name after Park. Why are you name after Parkinson? Well, you got a disease named after him, too, so I guess it kind of equals out. Any chance I get the shit on the idea of naming plants after people, I'll take it. Look at this Strom. We got a Strom. What if you had to say everything through a nasally Midwest accent? Wouldn't you die inside a little bit? Now imagine having someone threaten to call the cops on you. Look at a nice Strom. Look at that beautiful flower. I can't get over how exerted that stigma is. That thing is really sticking out there, like a hand reaching out for pollen grains. Who's pollinating these? I would love to do pollination studies, maybe with a 10-gallon hat or a sombrero or some shit. Nice Coryphantha right there with the prominent tubercles going off nice. Love the way this feels on my skin. This abrasive limestone, just grate my fanny with it, you know, like a piece of Gouda against a cheese grater. Ugh, tear pants limestone. The whole fucking hill is just alluvium just coming down. God damn, I'm cooking. It just feels like a fucking, you know, like someone's got one of them heat guns you use to dry, you know, industrial materials. Like they're just pointing at my head, you know? Would you rather be waterboarded or overheated to death? Look at that, though. Oh, that's so nice. Look, this whole crust that's formed, too. Because that's alive. That's all lichen. That's all a living crust. Everything's connected, right? Think about that. Why don't you take like half a tab ash, just go light, you know, and just stare at a piece of lichen for 10 hours. There you go. I'm not saying I've done that, but I would recommend it, you know. What do you get to lose anyway, huh? That is amazing. Right there, all that alluvium, you're looking at probably 100 plants or more. Right there, just fucking, there's a large one. But most of them are much, much tinier than that. That's great. You know, you figure out a strategy and just let it take you away. The only threat to your future is going to be when these bipedal apes come by and start plucking you off to have it in their collection. Just had to have it in my collection. Look at this guy post-flower. Is he dead? I think he dried up like a little disc, like a little puck. Oh, that's nice. I found an umbrella. I didn't realize I'm such a jackass. I was carrying a fucking umbrella in my backpack. That's nice. So, just got to get that sun off you. Get some airflow. Look at all that alluvium just falling down, too. And then, of course, everything, all that black is just lichen. It's just a living crust. Ah. Oh. Absolutely amazing. Just like Aztecium, just like quite a few cacti do. You know, these Mexican deserts, they're much hotter than a lot of the South American ones. Remember, most of South America is at high elevation. We're at 3,800 feet here, which is still fucking high by most United States standards. But at low latitudes, it doesn't mean shit. You know, the Andes, I mean, you got cacti growing at 15,000 feet in northern Chile. That's fucking high. There you go. There's a nice diffusa flower. Oh, I like that. That's a nice variation. No pink, just yellow. Kind of a cream color. What's going on? Well, you got all the trichomes in there. Look how the flower, that apical meristem kind of sinks in. This is a much hotter climate than well, I guess it's hot as fucking South Texas. What am I talking about? I think I'm just in a lot of discomfort right now. You know, but I did it for you. It's like I'm passing a stone or something, you know? I don't know. I think I'm just dripping sweat and need to get the fuck out. But look at that beautiful loaf diffusa. Look at the intense farina on there too. Those wax crystals. Look at those wax crystals just coating that epidermal tissue. That's nice. No pink, yellow, kind of a cream color. Williamsia's got a pink color to it, and just growing, just thriving in the dappled shade of this mean legume that's catching my umbrella and this monster agave. And then growing right down there, we got didn't even realize it. Didn't step on them, thank God. You gotta watch where you step in these habitats. Little Strombo. Everybody's enjoying the shade provided by these dead branches of this legume. Mimimosoideae legume. It looks like it might be a Senegalia or mimosa. Look at that. Look at that little shit just ensconced in a little crack in a rock. Surrounded by lichen. Certainly that lichen played a role in that seed germinating. I love how deep you can go with this shit. It's pretty fucking remarkable, you know. No species is an island. And this little guy jammed in the... God, how did they do it? Just jammed in it. So that thing must have germinated in that crack. I wonder if it... I wonder how old that is, first off. How many decades? Okay, let's pay our respects over here. Gonna get the umbrella so we can get no contrast, because that sun is really cooking. Look at this guy, though. And even cooler, look at those long spines in the apex of the plant. Is that just dieback, just tissue dieback from the drought, or is there a little insect that maybe pesters this guy every once in a while? What is the alkaloid content that this thing has evolved to keep insects away from it, I wonder? It's mostly going to be insects. Probably tastes bitter as hell. Love to see. You got to get that gas chromatograph. You got to get somebody one of those $50,000 machines to just see what the alkaloid profile is of all these plants. But then, of course, you do that, you run the risk of them finding something useful, and then these plants getting poached or whatever the fuck. I mean, the ideal thing to do, the non-shit for brain thing to do would just be to, if something like that, if a novel compound is discovered in a plant, just grow the shit out of it. But of course, you know, like what happened with Pacific Yew when they found anti-cancer compounds in it. And they found a way to synthesize it finally, but for a while, Pacific Yew was getting hit. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm just suffering from heat stroke. What an incredible fucking habitat, though. Ah. And the teeth on that agave, too. That thing's been through some shit. Evolutionarily, what's it take to evolve those mean spines? But these are the plants we're going to have to look at as shit starts warming up. Especially in the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt of the United States. Just a giant parking lot and retail center. So it's good to look at plants that have evolved ways, that have been through the evolutionary filter, the natural selection of growing in a brutally hot and extreme place. Cute little bastard, look at that. Who's going to pollinate him? Haven't seen anybody come by. Yeah, supposedly that's Echinocerius pentalophus, but I know that species. We get it in South Texas. And this is a much larger ecotype. It's a beast. Oh, this is nice. You got some large bisnagas. Who's that up there? One of those broadleaf bastards up there. I don't know. Huge bisnagas, Echinocactus platycanthus. You got your bursera, the peeling bark, just covered in tillandsia, and then you got a whole wall like a tapestry of Strombocactus, all ensconced in lichen. Jesus Christ, that's crazy. That is beautiful. How does the lichen do it too? It just goes dormant? It can just go dormant for months during the dry season and then spring back to life within 30 minutes of getting wet. God, it's incredible. How long they all been here? They're holding that whole rock wall together too. Looks like it's all conglomerate. Actually, it looks like it might be a solid chunk. Holy shit. That's beautiful. It's a living colony of Strombocactus disciformis. You see that guy up there? See, he's flowering. See that? He's getting it done. I don't see any others flowering though. Probably an obligate outcrosser like most cacti. You know, it's better for the gene pool. Look at I just can't get over how they're all scarred and just fucking haggard, but tough as hell. What a cool plant. You know, they really been through it. Really gotten the shit kicked out of them by life, you know? Like some people I know. Doing well for themselves in spite of it, though. I'm anthropomorphizing, and forgive me. I don't like to do that too much. It's kind of cool, though. You know, it's kind of nice. You can get a little poetic and shit. You like a poem? You fuck... I really would love to know what lichen species that is. It's probably very common. Yeah, see, so this block, this is all one block of rock. This hasn't fallen apart yet. It's not alluvium. So much of the surrounding slope is just alluvium. It's just pieces that fell off from above. This is all still together. So that's why these things have probably been growing here for centuries. Probably fucking centuries. Ah. God, I wish there was a way to date cacti. I bet they've been here a very, very long time. It is legume. Very distinct texture to those leaves. Almost looks like Pithecellobium. They just open up like that, like little wings. Need to be here when it rains so I can figure out what the shit it is. Jeez, they got buffalo grass here too, but it seems to be having a little trouble getting established. All that shit's Cenchrus ciliaris, or Pennisetum ciliare, whatever taxonomy you prefer. But it's not doing too well. That's nice. There's some Pithecellobium dulce, which we grow in South Texas too, but it always gets knocked back by the freeze. It's not freeze tolerant at all. You just eat that fleshy part that surrounds the seed. It's related to ebony, actually, Texas ebony. It's in the same clade as ebony. See, there you get those two leaves. Odd for a legume, huh? Odd vegetation for a legume. Look at that. Perfect little geometric spirals just ensconced in the living black crust, the lichen that occupies this calcareous sediment that's all weathering off these rocks. You want evidence of weathering? There you go. Look at all that stuff. That precipitating out of the water that runs out of that little wash. And of course, the water slowly dissolved it off the rock when it rained in the first place. And it carries it down. And so it goes. You know, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I'm dying. I'm gonna fucking cook. I'm gonna fall down. You know, I'm gonna fall down these. That's how I'm gonna get down. I'm gonna tumble down them goddamn slopes. Anyway, wonderful to meet you, sir. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. And the rest of everybody else, go fuck yourself. Bye. We go Stenocerius caratarawensis. There you go. There you go. Oh, look at that. He's like a natural. Oh, shit. Ah! Beautiful. All right. You got like 3 or 4 more.
I learned how to do this in Oaxaca.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, shit. I just pissed off a bunch of bugs.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Is it wasps or something? Oh, there you go. You got that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get... Oh, that's nice. Look at that. Look. Ah! Look at that. That's nice, man. So that's how you do it. You get a newspaper, scoop that stuff out, cut it in half, scoop it, scoop this stuff out. You can maybe... You know, I stepped on it and like rolled it back and forth with my foot, get the spines off. And then you just basically flatten it, let it dry. Still got a lot of spines. I bet that shit is delicious, but I want to get those seeds. I'm gonna grow a bunch of this stuff.
Pura tortilla.